This is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Wednesday. This is Devils After Dark, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios inside the bunker in an undisclosed location in beautiful New Jersey and Scotty's Beverly Hills Michael J. Fox Studios. Yes, that's Scotty at Sirius XM Liquid Metal. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. As the Devils lose again, 3 in a row. 3 in a row. Losing the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden tonight. Lots of storylines, lots of things to talk about. I'm mad. I'm assuming Scotty's mad. Maybe you are mad. I'm just still pissed off from last night, Scotty. I haven't recovered. I felt that the first period, or at least a puck drop, very interesting events. And then, yeah. But I have some good news, but I will leave it to the end of the podcast.
Okay, sounds good. Hello, everybody. How you doing? YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter. Woo! What's going on? Glad to be back with you. Sorry, I was absent yesterday. Got stuck at the old Sirius XM studios there.
No. I told the audience that you were mad. You were so mad.
Oh, okay.
You were so mad that you couldn't get yourself to come on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, we're using that excuse this time around.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I will say then, in a dream, I was doing some content with the band Kitty, and we had an amazing time, and it just ran a little long. But that was just in my dream. Apparently, I was just so damn pissed off yesterday after the Devils blew the lead in the third period, letting up 5 goals. But now I'm back. And we're here to talk about this one against the old Rags across the bridge. And we knew the fireworks were going to fly right off the bat, as they should have. As they should have let Big Mac and Rempe go at it in the last game, and the idiot officials got in the way there and stopped them from throwing down. Well, we had a revisit of, 2012, when we had the old line brawl there with DeBoer and Torts going at it. We had Green and forget that name, whatever. You know how to say his name. I don't, apparently. Going at it behind the coach's bench as well.
Scotty, it's pronounced loser.
Oh, okay. There we go. La loser. But yeah, that's the way it should have started. Although Travis Green, if you know you're going to put guys out like that, put Brendan Smith out there instead of John Marino. Kevin Ball was the right move. Obviously, Big Mac. I guess Tierney and Trouba just really went down really fast. Lazar and I think it was Goudreau, they went down pretty quick as well. Looked like Lazar lost his footing after his first swing. So they just kind of tumbled down to the ice. Poor John Marino went out there and squared up with Miller, who was 3 times his size. And even when they broke away a little bit, good old Don is going back. He's like, you know what? I took the isotonic gloves off tonight, and I'm going to throw down. So good for John Marino for getting in there, although we don't want him to get injured. Even though the season's pretty wrapped up anyway, so who cares at this point? But never want to see anyone get hurt. But good for John Marino, standing up to Miller, who is a big boy. Who else was out there? We got Lazar, we got Tierney. Kevin Ball had a nice, good scrap as well. And then, of course, the main event with Big Mac versus Rempe. And love what Big Mac did over there. He didn't put him down on the ground, but I think it was pretty clear that Big Mac got the better of that tussle. A lot more shots in there. Rempe with the bloody lips and tongues afterwards. That dude's got to watch out. I hate Matt Rempe, of course, naturally, but he has clocked in the head a lot. He really needs to watch himself because he's gonna, I don't know. He hasn't fared too well after like the first fight that he had. A lot of the times he's been taking a lot of shots there. So even though I hate him, obviously, because I'm a Devils fan, I'll say that dude's gotta protect himself a little bit better. Cause man, was McDermott just jabbing the hell out of him too. Just bump, 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 bump. Rocked him a couple times with a right. And yeah, I mean, Rempe got a couple of good shots in there as well, but you can see at the end, I mean, he was just like, ugh, ugh. So good on Big Mac for standing up and getting the job done over there just like he should. And then it was Lazar and Jimmy Vesey, our old friend, our old enemy, then friend, and now enemy again. They just like, right, I mean, woo, gloves were off. And of course, that was the catalyst for getting everyone else kicked out of the game, because that was technically the first fight that broke out was Lazar and Vesey. And, you know, Big Mac and Rempe kind of skated around for a little bit. You know, Marino and Miller didn't square off for a while. Tierney and Trouba didn't go for a little bit. And then what was it? It was Goudreau and Ball. They started up pretty quickly as well. But yeah, good on Big Mac for standing up for the team and getting the job done there and getting some good shots in on you know, the new most hated Ranger in Devils fan circles, Matt Rempe. And again, don't like the guy, but he's got to watch out because he took some serious. I mean, the last number of fights he's been in, he's taken some serious shots. So he's finally upped his time total, I think, to over 5 minutes now of game time played throughout 3 games, of course, against the Devils. Don't think this is going to be stopping anytime soon. When these teams play each other, this is going to happen a lot more frequently. So in this offseason, whatever you're doing, Fitzy, you better be looking at bringing in some more toughness. Either you're bringing McDermott back for this role next year, or you got to get some guys that can stand up and throw down. So just putting it out there, this is not over. This is going to be every game with these teams. As long as Rempe's on the other side, this is how it's going to be. It's going to be feisty. It's going to be chippy. It's going to be some old-time hockey. And hey, I think everyone had a good time in the beginning, right? It was a lot of fun. You know, usually we don't like to see some crazy line brawls, but I don't think it was that out of control. And it's Devils Rangers. Whatever idiots want to say, like, oh, the Islanders are the Rangers' biggest rival, or the Boston Bruins. Like, you obviously don't watch hockey. There is nothing like, okay, maybe there's a couple other ones. You know, Red Wings, Blackhawks back in the day. Then it was Red Wings, Avalanche. But the Devils and Rangers have always hated each other and have always had the most bitter rivalry. The Flyers, the Islanders, the Bruins, nothing comes close. Hell's Bells. It was a storyline on the greatest sitcom in the history of the world, Seinfeld. When's the last time you see a National Hockey League thing going on a sitcom like that? Devils Rangers back in the day was everywhere. And when these two teams play each other, the intensity is always kicked up. And tonight was no exception. So good on Big Mac. I'll say good on Rempe for actually putting up and fighting instead of, you know, chicken shitting his way off the ice like last time. So I was pleased overall. And like I said, I don't think it was anything outrageous that, you know, is going to stain the league's image or anything like that. This was some good old hockey. There were some issues that needs to be settled, and we're always saying, let them police themselves on the ice. Tonight, they policed themselves on the ice. So I got no problem with it. There were a couple questionable shots. I mean, 2 boarding calls on both teams. You don't want to see too much of that, but then, out of nowhere, Dawson Mercer is just like, hey guys, I get in a fight. Will you buy me a beer? How about an Aunt Crew Brew? And he did really well. I was surprised to see old DM in there throwing some fisticuffs. I thought he was going to get smoked. I'm like, oh no, Dawson, what are you doing? Let Brendan Smith get up and take care of this. But he just jumped right into that situation and he let it go. So good on Dawson Mercer over there. Got some good shots in. I wouldn't necessarily say he won the fight, but he didn't get like beat down or something like that. Like I was a little concerned. I was like, oh boy, Dawson Mercer is not a fighter. What is going on? But he was ready to rumble. And he was throwing some shots. And he held his own good. Some probably call it a draw. Some might give it a little edge to whoever it was on the Rangers. I can't even remember right now.
I had a problem with that, Scotty. That Mercer got an instigator. I had a problem with that.
That I don't like the instigator calls on that, especially if there's another penalty called on the play. And especially if it's a boarding call.
I think it was the refs trying to control the game. And to give the Devils a power play at Madison Square Garden, I think they were a little intimidated. I don't think that should have never been called.
I don't think it should have been an instigator. When there's especially a boarding call like that, a very blatant one as well. I don't think there should be an instigator play on that. But again, these are the refs getting in the way of things and not letting the guys police themselves. They were trying to get in the way of that fight, and they want to stop everything else. But guys are going to take cheap shots. They got to get policed. And that's the way it is in hockey. It's the way it's always been. The Zebras are not going to stop it. Eventually, it will blow up, like it did tonight. Although I think the guys did really well all around. They didn't go too insanely crazy or anything like that. Sorry, my idiot neighbor in the front is blasting music out the back. If you can hear that. Mm-hmm. But either way, I liked DM getting in there and throwing down. And yeah, I don't know if anyone saw. Actually, I just saw someone reference it in the YouTube chat here, and it's gone. I don't know who said it, but I loved seeing when Dawson Mercer went into the penalty box afterwards. Curtis Lazar was just in there smiling at him, and he gave him the old big brother like slap on the knee. There, it's like, that a boy. Hey, way to go there, kiddo. Nice job. So that was damn good.
I'm sure his dad was proud too. Dawson Mercer's dad.
Oh, I'm sure.
If anybody's met him, that guy's a big guy. That guy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mess with that guy. He's a really nice guy, but I wouldn't want to piss him off. Dawson Mercer's dad.
Yeah. But love old Curtis, love Dawson, Big Mac, everyone, doing what they had to do tonight. So good for them. So after the fight, after the big line brawl, you got you get Ball, Marino, Big Mac, and Tierney tossed again because Lazar and VC are the ones that drop the gloves first. And then for the Rangers, you get Trouba, Miller, Goudreau, and Rempe tossed out of the game there. So you got a lot of guys missing right off the bat. And then you get Dawson Mercer, who gets the instigator and the misconduct as well. So now he's gone 168 penalty minutes in the first period between the Devils and Rangers tonight. So, yeah, some old-time hockey going on over here. Now for the rest of the game, the Rangers had themselves a pretty good first period over here. They went up 1-0 on Panarin's 45th goal of the year. He was open at the side of the net. Kakinen, he played pretty good. He got a piece of it with the paddle of the stick, but it does go in. Travis Green tried to challenge this for offsides, but they lost the challenge, which obviously puts the Devils down into the PK form. But this was Adam Fox racing off the bench to keep the puck in the zone. That's where the offsides, the question of the offsides was at, and he gets the puck back in. And it was an onside play. It was just like a quarter of the puck really just didn't get over that blue line. But you could see on the one down the line view that they had that it didn't completely cross out of the zone. So he gets it to Lafreniere, and then Lafreniere's on the right side, and then Panarin finds himself open on the left. Lafreniere across, and then Panarin just buries it in the back. Kakinen really just had no chance on that. 1-0 Rangers at 9:22. And then after that, 18:03 at the end of the period, Lafreniere gets who took the shot? Who was this? Weinberg or something like that? I don't even know some of these Ranger names. But Lafreniere, the puck was kind of trickling through Kakinen. He made the initial save, and it's just kind of loose in the zone, and Lafreniere's there to just hit it with the backhand and put it into the back of the net. Rangers up 2-0 at the end of the first period. But then the Devils come out, and here's the thing, too. Devils, first period, 4 friggin' shots on goal. 4 to the Rangers 15. Not acceptable, boys. Sorry. Second period starts, and Jack Hughes makes some magic happen. You know he loves playing against the Rangers. And he does some pretty nifty stick handling work there. And he's able to get through 2 different Rangers right up the center slot. He's going towards the net. And then he passes it across to Palat, who just lets it rip from the wing. And Shesterkin can't get over to the post in time. Nice mid-high shot there from Palat. He puts it in the back of the net for his 10th goal of the year. Yes, as we've talked about, the $6 million man. 10 goals on the year. Assist goes to Jackie Boy. Gentleman Jack. Jumpin' Jack flashes 46th. And Luke gets his 34th. Even strength goal at 2:11. Rangers now up 2-1. And then it's former Ranger. About 7 minutes later, the man who does have some offensive skills, because we've seen him play the wing before, and it's not just for the fisticuffs. That's one Brendan Smith. He gets his 4th goal of the year to tie this game up 2-2. And this play was basically made happen by Jesper Bratt. We're going to have to go back all the way into the Devils' defensive zone, and Jesper Bratt just gets his stick on the puck to poke it away from Panarin, who basically had like a clear shot right in onto Kakinen, okay? And Jesper Bratt just reaches back and gets his stick on it and deflects it over to Nico Hischier, who starts the rush up the other way. He passes it to Timo Meier. Timo brings it into the zone, and then he gives it back to Jesper Bratt. And then Bratt, from the backhand. Oh, yeah, this is the one where he was behind the net, okay? And then he forehand pass out to Brendan Smith, who is streaking in. So if you got the team kind of following Bratt around the net, Jesper Bratt coming from the D, from the blue line, streaking right in. And man, does he put a nasty shot home for his 4th of the year. Jesper gets the primary assist, his 50th, and Timo Meier gets his 23rd assist of the year at 9:53. Even strength goal to tie it all up. And then the Rangers take a timeout, because you can see things are getting a little out of control for their side. Jesper Bratt also had a breakaway just before this as well that Shesterkin just got a piece of. And after that, Jesper Bratt really gets in on this last goal as well. At 11:24 of the second period, the Devils go up 3-2 as Bratt gets the loose puck in the offensive zone, and he shakes the D-man going behind the net. He kind of does a little stop, a little pivot, a little kind of move around, and then boof, he is uncovered. Oh, there goes my pen. He's uncovered, and he's able to put a no-look backhand pass right across on the tape through traffic to the captain, Nico Hischier, and he buries it for his 25th goal of the year. At 11:24, another even strength to put the Devils up 3-2, and Jesper gets his second point of the game and his 51st assist of the season. We move into the third period, and all you really need to know is Luke's stick breaks. Oh, yes. This is what really did, well, the Devils didn't play great all night either. You know, they only had 20 shots on goal. But this was just an unfortunate moment there for the Devils. Luke Hughes has got the puck at the point, tries to get a shot on net. His stick breaks, and Kakko blocks it with his shin, and it just kicks forward to the neutral zone, or kicks back to the neutral zone, I should say. And then Kakko's off to the races. Now, Luke Hughes is chasing him, but he don't got a stick. He catches up with them, but all he can really do is just kind of bump him a little bit. And this is where you want. This is the one I'm sure Kakkonen would like back. This is the one where you're looking for that timely save. And Kakkonen gets beat glove side by Kakko. Well, we're getting all the name craziness going on over here. He gets his 13th of the year unassisted at 5:32 of the third period to tie it up. And that was just a tough one because you really wanted to see Kakkonen make that save there. It would have been that timely save that, you know, we always talk about quite often here on the show. And then Kakkonen, he took an 85-mile-per-hour shot right off the chin on the mask. Woo! Stayed in the game. Good on him. He took another shot right off the mask not too long after that. And then at 15:03 of the third period on the power play, it's friggin' Kreider in front of the goal, getting one of his patented tips from the long shot, deflects right in past Kakkonen for his 36th of the year to put the Rangers up 4-3. And then Kakkonen made another big save after that, stretching across and just get the – it might have been Panarin again, who was all over the place tonight and just barely got it with the edge of his stick. So Kakkonen played pretty well. The only one, though, is that Kakko goal I think he would want back. That's the timely save that the Devils needed. They run out of gas there at the end. They try to pull the goaltender, but to no avail. Rangers win 4-3. Shots on goal for the Devs, 4-8-8 for a total of 20. Can't win that way. The Rangers, 15-11-15 for a total of 41. Devils dominated in the faceoff circle. 34 wins to the Rangers 27. Devils 0 for 3 on the power play, which I don't even think it had a shot on goal tonight. So it reverted back to, you know, the poo-poo play instead of the actual power play. Rangers were 1 for 3. Penalty minutes. Devils 88. Rangers 78. We got 15-15 in the hits. And Rangers blocked one more shot than the Devils, 12-13. So crappy losing streak now is going on. I think this pretty much solidifies where the Devils will be with no postseason. I mean, I know there's still the chance in hell type of scenario over here because everyone seems to not want that final playoff spot. But boy, will it take a miracle and then another miracle and then another miracle for like the Capitals and the Flyers to also just, and the Red Wings and the Islanders, and now the Penguins as well, because they're ahead of us, I think it's just too much.
Plus Buffalo.
Yeah. Plus Buffalo as well. Yeah, I felt it's been too much for quite some time, but we've been trying to hold off and keep the hope alive. It's like, oh, we just got the plans for the Death Star. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think Alderaan would be making it in this story over here, because the Devils just don't have that consistency, and they are Jekyll and Hyde this season, and they've lost way too many games to teams that they should beat, and they have not had a winning streak more than 3 games this entire year. And now they're on what? Is this a 3-game losing streak that they're on now, or is it 4?
I think it's
I have
3.
to look. Is it
Buffalo.
3?
It was against Buffalo, then last night.
Buffalo, Pittsburgh, yeah, and now the Rangers. And what do we go to Nashville after this?
No. Go to Ottawa Saturday.
Go to Ottawa and then Nashville.
No, Nashville is going to be at home at the Rock.
And then Nashville's at the Rock. Okay, and then the Toronto. Oh, yeah. So we got another like six games to go here in this season. Was hoping tonight would be kind of a nice victory, one of those moral playoff victories, beating a team like the Rangers, your arch rival, especially in a game that was so important that we knew was going to be a fight fest as well. But the Devils do not come through. So love to hear what you think about it on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Twitch and Instagram and everywhere else. You can get the Let's Go Devils podcast. This is Devils After Dark, and we're going to see what the king of the football calls himself thinks about the game tonight. Sam, by God, Woo.
Start with the positives, Scotty, with the Devils. I didn't think they had it in him to kind of repeat 2012. That line brawl, which rarely happens. I mean, back in the day when I used to watch hockey as a kid, there were bench clearing brawls, which now are banned. Seeing John Marino and Kevin Ball scrapping. Shame on TNT with the live feed, only having one camera on Rempe and McDermott when they should have had a wide shot of all the fights going at the same time when it was live. When it was live, they were talking about the other fights, but we can't see it. Shame on the producers for not figuring that one out. Because the NBC game that Doc Emmerich called back in 2012, that line brawl, like you saw everything. Camera angles were great, whatnot. But, that was just a little beef of mine.
Go to Hockey Fights. They already have some alternate views up on over there as well if you haven't seen it yet. So
yeah. The Devils, again, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this objectively. The Rangers got lucky at this game. That stick breaking and then getting the go-ahead goal. I'm gonna say this. I don't think
20 shots though.
Yeah,
20 shots. It's not gonna win.
But you gotta listen to me. The Rangers aren't going anywhere in the playoffs. If they can barely beat the Devils, how badly the Devils have been playing lately, and with the fight, 20 shots on goal. I don't know how this team has so many points this regular season. I think they're going to get bounced in the first round. Just judging by what I saw tonight. I don't think they have what it takes. That's what I think is the good news. That's just my opinion, of course. But the Devils, again, I bitched all last night. I don't know if you heard my bitching last night, Scotty, but they've got to do a lot more. I think we were all expecting them to lose tonight. They put up a good fight in there, but the puck went the Rangers' way. There's a lot that needs to be done with this team, and I think again last night, and I still mean it today. Fire everybody, but right now you got to go with what you have right now, and finish out the season. Now we're talking about draft, the draft lottery, all that. The Devils aren't going to make the playoffs. They're just not. They don't have anything. Even if they go on to here, they're not going to. If they run the table, they're not going to make the playoffs. There's no way. So, but again, I didn't think that they had it in them to get in a line brawl. Again, what was John Marino doing out on the ice? Who put the lineup card together? If you're gonna put Lazar out there and McDermott and Tierney, all that, were they not expecting?
Yeah, they should have had Brendan Smith out there instead of John Marino to start the game. I mean,
it would have been great. It would have been great.
Pretty obvious.
Strategically, it wouldn't have been great, but it would have been great if Timo Meier was out there and he went after Trouba. Would have been great, but that would have been stupid strategically because Timo is your hottest player right now.
Yeah, you wanted Brendan Smith out there instead of John Marino. And I think John will say the same thing. I don't think John is looking to drop the gloves,
especially when
all
he's
the time. Yeah,
especially when he had that upper
against
body.
Miller too.
Especially when he has that upper body injury. A couple weeks back.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't look good. But look, I mean, the guys had fun. Dawson Mercer sticking up for Brendan Smith. I thought that was good. I didn't agree with the instigator there. Again, it is what it is, Scotty. Now, that Luke Hughes play when he broke his stick, as a defenseman, he did everything he possibly could. And the fact that he was able to catch the fact that he was able to keep up was just, it's just unfortunate that the puck went in the net, but but he did everything he could on that play. It's just one of those things, and that was the momentum shifter of the game. I mean, but the Devils, again, they're not a very good team. They didn't recover from it. I mean, it was still a 3-3 tie at that point. The Rangers, again, put the puck on net. Good things will happen, and that's exactly what they did. They got that deflection, Kreider scoring. The Rangers are on a big high right now. But
it was like the first two games of the playoffs last year where nobody was covering Kreider on every power play, and he was just standing in front of the net like tip, tip, tip. Until like game 3, then they finally decided to cover him.
Yeah. So, again, Devils are what? Still 6 points out? I don't know. Does it matter anymore?
I don't think it does, but I think there's somewhere around there.
Well, I think Washington and the Flyers were idle tonight. Flyers having the third place in the Metropolitan Division. The idle Washington Capitals with 82 points with that last spot. But they have 2 games in hand right now against the New Jersey Devils. And we said that this week was going to be a big week, those 4 games. The Devils have failed miserably, first 2. But it was nice to see a fight. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
And they are officially 500 now. 36, 36, and 4.
I consider that 4 games under 500, but that's just me. But.
And then the last night, the Islanders and the Flyers went to overtime. So that was the one thing you didn't want, was both those teams getting a point. You wanted that regulation victory one way or the other, hoping for the Islanders to pull it off, but they went to OT, so they both ended up getting a point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Devils now, they don't have games in hand on anybody. Even the they're even. They both have 76 games played. There's 6 games left? Yeah, 6 games left. You got to make up 6 points in 6 games. Like I said, it's going to take a miracle for them, and you're going to need a miracle going the opposite way for Buffalo, Pittsburgh, the Islanders, Detroit, and either Washington or Philly. So I would say the odds are stacked against us right now. So I wouldn't buy those first-round playoff tickets that they have for sale right now out there, just in case. I would say let those slide, and we'll see where we end up after the summer. But Fitzy he's gotta look at this game as this is what it's gonna be like to play the Rangers if Rempe's gonna be in the lineup. This is what's gonna happen.
Well, I think it's this. They should have beefed up a long time ago, Scotty.
They should have. They absolutely should have.
Years since the Ray Shiro days, like it's that's part of the game, and you got to be physical. And what Fitzy needs to do is, again, I'm calling for an overhaul because you got to look. You've already done it this way. They've drafted. Trying to think the right way to explain it. Their bottom six has to be reinvented.
Fair enough.
It has to be reinvented. The top six right now, again, you got guys on long-term contracts like Bratt, like Timo Meyer, Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier. The bottom six, I hate to say it, since McLeod's not coming back, changed the whole dynamics of that bottom six. And right now, the Metropolitan Division, you got to win with your fists, and you've got to have a lot of skill. And there's no balance there. With the Devils, it's their success tonight was speed. Pushing the puck up. Taking advantage that there's only 4 defensemen. That the Rangers were running just like the Devils and trying to catch them off guard. Jesper Bratt was cherry picking quite a bit. I'm all for that, and they had a lot of great chances tonight and trying to push the envelope. But that kind of Lindy Ruff type system that the Devils have been playing, it's just not sustainable over an 82-game season and to the playoffs. And they got exposed last year, and they're being exposed again during this season as well. Jacob says also Dougie Hamilton being out as well. I mean, he's going to be out for a very long time, since December. You would figure he'd be back by now, but obviously that injury, the healing.
There's no point for him to come back.
No, but what I'm saying is that's a bad injury if it's that long,
Well, was he a torn bicep or was it a torn pec? Which one did he have? I can't remember.
Torn pec. How long are they normally?
I mean, it depends. I mean, I think if the Devils were in actual playoff mode, I think he'd be, skating and training to come back.
Yeah.
So we could do the old Tampa Bay Lightning cap trick once the playoffs hit. But right now, there's no need for Dougie Hamilton to try and push it and to try to come back this year. He can just rest, recuperate, and take his time with his therapy and everything like that. And hopefully he comes back, full strength next season.
Yeah. So I don't know, Scotty. I think we're back to talking about the draft again, where the Devils are going to be. I mean, this sucks. This sucks. All the expectations going into this season, I think we overvaluated them. I think they got to get back to basics. And
I think,
revamp.
I think they have lineup. I think they have to realize that they probably overachieved last year, and that it's not going to be that easy all this time. And once the book was out, they didn't have a way to counter. And Lindy's system got shut down. It seems a little chaotic over there. It seems like the different. I'll say I don't feel like there's true leadership right now.
No.
On this team. And that's from, and I'm not trying to take a knock at Nico or anything like that, because I know people have been saying they don't want him to be captain, but I don't really have a problem with Nico being a captain, but I really think there's not that strong personality behind the bench that they really need. That's going to sit them down and tell them, "Oh, Mark Schwab, woo!" Big old super chat. Thank you, buddy. European dollars, the euros. But I think that they need that coaching presence that's going to put a little bit of fear into them. And I'm not trying to knock Jack Hughes or anything like that, but they got to get rid of that quote unquote they pay money to see me. Pay money to see the team win, not just individual players. So, I think they need to find a coach that's going to preach that. And I think maybe the Devils need to get back a little bit to playing for the crest on the front instead of the name on the back. A little bit. I'm not saying everyone, I'm not saying all the time, but I feel like there's been some rogueness going on.
Yeah.
And they need that strong voice in that locker room to, Godfather's, just pull me back in and be that leader I think that they really need from a coaching perspective.
Yeah.
That's what I said, John. I know, Keenan, we would all love if Pat Burns was still around.
The Devils won't hire Berube.
R.I.P.
I'm going to tell you right now, they're not going to hire him.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. There's going to be there's always coaching shakeups every single year. You're going to have some people out there, like your Boudreaux, like your Berubes. Don't know about Mike Sullivan. There's a former coach from Pittsburgh as well, old Dan, who hasn't coached in the NHL for a little bit. Are they going to try and bring in a fresh coach, someone who's never been? Do you bring up Kevin Dineen, who's done work with a lot of these guys as they've come up through the system? They need a strong, strong presence. Yes, Pollock. And yes, Serve. I'm not suggesting one way or another. I'm just saying that's someone who worked with a younger Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. Do you go the route of bringing in Quinville? I know that's going to that would be a PR nightmare, but someone like that.
Yeah, they won't do Quinville, Berube. They're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
We're going to see. But I hope they don't go the way of like the Mets and like bring in like a Mickey Callaway or something like that who has no idea what the hell they're doing. First time head coach sort of situation. I think they need that established presence. Someone who has the cred already of you need to listen to me because I know what I'm talking about here.
I'm going Boudreaux. I think that's one candidate.
He's one. There's going to be plenty. There'll be other coaches that are let go. We'll have to see what they do. I will say, because we know we're going to be talking prospects again soon, like we were about 2 to 3 years ago. If you want to look on the bright side, check out this kid Cam Squires that the Devils have coming up through the juniors and everything. He is lighting it up. Most points by any Devils prospect this season.
He was considered the steal of the draft, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, who knows if it's going to translate, but he's tearing it up. He's definitely over a point a game right now. Or for the entire, I think the season's done. But we're going to be talking about plenty of prospects over the summer and everything like that. But Fitzy's got some work to do. He has got some work to do. But we still got 6 more games to go. So 6 more times we get to hang out for some Devils After Dark action here in the 23-24 season. So we're still going to have fun. Elaine Vigneault. Oh, Val, I don't know.
No.
I don't know about that one.
Steer clear. Then you're going to have...
And everyone would love Brindamore, but I'm telling you, he is not leaving Carolina. I know if you read all the reports out of Carolina, they've been negotiating, and it's like they just haven't announced it, basically. And this is not the first time he's gone through the season without having the contract announced for next year. It's happened before. It'll happen again this year.
Plus,
would we love Rod Brindamore? Yes, but not going to happen.
Plus, Beer Baron, blames the wife on that one.
Of course, yeah. Beer Baron went and ruined everything.
Yeah.
By blaming Rod's wife. So forget it. Now it's definitely not happening. During Women's History Month. Way to go, Beer Baron.
Way to go.
But anyhoozle, at least we got a good fights tonight.
At least it was
Saw Big Mac. Saw DM stand up. Good for them. Good for them. Devils still lose to the arch rival Rangers, but at least they didn't get slaughtered tonight. It wasn't like a 5 straight goals in the third period type of game. Like yesterday. So improvement, I guess, or something. I don't know. They only blew a 1-goal lead tonight. Okay, how about that?
The Rangers got lucky. I'll stick with my story. They got so lucky. I was like, it's just one of those unfortunate things.
Boy. Ted says NHL Trade Rumors has a good wide-angle photo of the brawl tonight. All right, cool. Have to check that out. Yeah, I saw it on Hockey Fights, too. They have a bunch of different angles. And what's the other one? Like the 1929 hockey page on Instagram, I think. They had a good wide angle of it as well, but you don't get like the full. Still lacking here and there, but everybody wanted to watch the 2 big boys go at it, and so we saw that, and that was a lot of fun. So hire Patrick Elias. Wow, I don't know.
I wouldn't do that.
Again, I think we need someone who is established as a coach that can come in and just, this is how we're doing it, boys. And have them actually listen. So, still 6 more games to go. Who knows? Maybe they can end on a real positive note and squash this losing streak and maybe going on a six-game heater over here just to end the season on a good feeling.
Nah, I'd rather get better lottery positioning at this point.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've been looking at Berube as well. I see a lot of people saying that there'll be some changes. There's going to be a lot of names thrown out there this summer. So keep your eyes open. Start looking. What NHL coach needs a job and needs a contract? We are going to find out at some point. And yes, Mark, I'll still watch the games. I'll still watch the playoffs too. I love NHL playoffs. So
it's going to be hard if the Flyers, Islanders.
Well, you got to find the ex-Devils, and that's the team you want to root for. By the way, Igor Sharangovich is about to break 30 goals for Calgary. He was at 29 last night. Got his 29th in the year. Oh, Igor. But either way, let's wrap this bad boy up.
And
Thank you,
Pickles as well.
everybody.
Pickles as well.
And Pickles, yeah, Pickles is up in the high 20s as well.
29. Yep.
Oh, Pickles and Igor. If Calgary got in, that's what I'd be rooting for. I'd be a Flames fan all of a sudden out of nowhere. You're Pickles and Igor. But yeah, we're gonna. Okay, Jacob, you want to get Parisi a cup? Okay. Oh, look at that! It's Billy Dean making his presence felt over here. Our buddy Billy Dean, who I want to hate, but we love because he's a Rangers fan. He's on the Hockey on Tap podcast every Monday here on the Let's Go Devils podcast network. But he's not one of those Ranger fans. You could actually talk hockey with him. So, we love us our Billy Dean. But he was at the game tonight, and Billy Dean had better camera views of the fight than TNT was putting on out there.
Yeah.
He's like, Billy Dean, he sent us videos of everything. We're like, I think that's where I got the best view of the action was the videos from Billy. Tell you the truth. So
yeah. Billy Dean actually said there were more Devils fans there than Ranger fans at MSG tonight. That's what he told me. He was pretty impressed. He's like, where are our fans? They didn't show up. It wasn't. They weren't booing the Devils. They were chanting Luke because they respect. That rookie defenseman that played over 30 minutes tonight.
Yeah, he did 31 to 32 minutes. I mean, that's what happens when you lose Ball and Marino right off the bat there. So anything about it? Hey, Rangers were in the same boat. They lost freaking Trouba and Miller right there off the bat. So it was still a fun game. Wish the Devils won. It obviously would have made it a lot better, but it was fun for the most part. It really was just that one goal there. Luke broke his stick. And Kakko got it, and, that was where you wanted the timely save from Kakkonen. He played a good game, but that was the one opportunity where you're like, damn, that was the big timely save that we really needed. So, Devils lose, no shock. But they didn't get slaughtered. They stood up for themselves. So that's good news over there. And we'll see what happens with this team. Going to be a lot of overhaul in the offseason. So start thinking about it. Because we're going to be talking about trades and who gets signed and who doesn't get signed. And Billy, you are right. I see Billy Dean in the YouTube chat. Kakkonen he had that save at the end. I think it was, Billy can tell me, I think it was off of Panarin where Kakkonen was stretching all the way across and he just threw his stick out there. And he got it just with the edge of the big fat part of the stick. He played good. It was just that one, the Kakko. That's the one that he wanted back, and that was the one where we needed the timely save. Luke hustling back, didn't have his stick, did everything he could, and just beat him glove side.
Billy Dean, your team beat a 1C goaltender. That's the way I look at it. The Devils are a bunch of softies, and they still were able to fight your team. Your team's going to get bounced in the first round. This is all mirage right now.
Oh, I can't wait to see how the group chat is going to move forward for the rest of the evening. All right, everybody, let's wrap it up. We'll be back here on Saturday and Sunday to do it all over again. With another edition of Devils After Dark, and of course, Game Day Live beforehand with Vinny Parisi, Sam Woo, and the legend Shorts Guy, who is he's off in merry old England right now.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So Shorts Guy won't be around for a bit. Oh, he's listening to the Beatles and the Rolling Stones over there in London. Are you from London, Sam Woo? Oi!
I was going to do my British accent, but then I forgot how to do it. I know an Aussie, but British I'm not very good at.
Oh, don't you worry about it, Sam Woo.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up, Sam. When I stop talking, that means you wrap it up.
Dropping the podcast at midnight. Feel better. The Rangers still suck.
Cheerio.
Let's go Devils.